The Council's verdict. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council glittered like a jewel suspended in the void. Vast crystal arches stretched overhead, refracting the glow of stars beyond the panoramic windows. Delegates from 43 civilizations filled the chamber, each seated within floating orbs arranged in concentric rings around the central dais. They had convened for what many considered routine business, the classification of a newly contacted species. This was not unusual. Every few cycles, scouts discovered a fledgling civilization emerging from its homeworld, stumbling toward the stars. The Council would assess their biology, psychology, and history, then place them within the galactic order. Most were harmless. Some became trading partners. A few were quarantined for instability. But never before had the chamber felt so tense. Subject designation, humanity, intoned the central AI moderator, its synthesized voice resonating across the hall. Homeworld, Earth. Current technological status, early spacefaring. Population, 8 billion. Preliminary designation pending. The delegates leaned forward. An elder of the Solari, a serpentine species who had long dominated the Council's scientific branch, coiled within her orb and hissed softly. Let's not waste time. They are omnivores, yes? Limited territorial squabbles, primitive weapons. A mid-tier classification will suffice. Her words might have ended the discussion, had the holograms not activated. The chamber dimmed, and Earth's history unfolded in light and sound. Scenes of war. Trenches filled with mud and blood. Vast machines of steel clashing in fiery cataclysms. Two suns rising over Japan as mushroom clouds devoured cities. Scenes of survival. Tiny vessels breaking free of gravity. Men and women stepping onto the barren face of their moon. Expeditions to the deepest oceans. Mountaineers clawing their way through storms and avalanches. Scenes of brutality and resilience. Plagues, famines, genocides, and from each, recovery. Not mere survival, but growth. The hall filled with uneasy murmurs. This cannot be right, whispered a Kthari delegate, her insectoid wings twitching nervously. They annihilated entire populations of their own kind, willingly. Look at the frequency of their conflicts, a foreign amphibian croaked. Most species fight when threatened. These humans fight each other endlessly. The AI voice cut through the noise. Analysis complete. Based on comparative models, humanity's classification is not mid-tier. Designation, apex predators. A silence fell heavier than vacuum. The words carried meaning every being in the chamber understood. Apex species were those who had known natural predators, who dominated every ecosystem they touched, who rose not by chance, but by conquest. In galactic memory, no newly encountered intelligent species had ever borne that designation. Impossible, the Solari elder hissed, her scales bristling. They're barely spacefaring. Apex predators do not fumble with primitive rockets. But the AI continued, unflinching. Data confirms humans exhibit predatory psychology, adaptive aggression, and high threshold for pain and endurance. Estimated survival likelihood under extinction-level events, 87%. Comparative analysis with galactic civilizations exceeds norm in all combat-related metrics. The chamber erupted. Delegates shouted over one another, their voices a cacophony of panic, outrage, and disbelief. The Voth, a species of gentle herbivores whose entire culture revolved around cooperation, trembled in their seats. If such creatures expand into the stars unchecked, they will destabilize entire sectors. We must restrict them immediately. A grizzled warrior from the Bracken, one of the few remaining predatory descended species, leaned back and chuckled darkly. Finally, something worth respecting. You prey-born weaklings have forgotten what it means to survive. Perhaps these humans will remind you. That only fanned the flames of fear. Images still flickered across the chamber walls. Human soldiers laughing in the face of death. Explorers planting flags in deserts and tundras. Children playing war with sticks as though born knowing conflict. Listen, cried a delegate from the ALE, their translucent skin flushing purple with distress. They are unstable, aggressive, irrational. We must contain them now, while they're still bound to their system. Extermination may even be justified. The word hung in the air like poison. Extermination. It was not a word used lightly in the Council. Species classified as exterminatus-level threats had once been purged long ago. But for centuries, such measures had been unnecessary. Peace and order had reigned. Until now, the AI flickered again, delivering a final warning. Projected timeline. If unopposed, humanity will achieve interstellar parity within 100 standard years. Probability of regional destabilization, 96%. Probability of large-scale conflict, 82%. The chamber fell into uneasy silence. The Solari elder coiled tighter, her scales rattling. We cannot allow this. Either Earth is bound by treaties of restriction, or they are erased. No, barked the Bracken warrior, slamming his clawed fist against his orb's rim. To erase them will be cowardice. To bind them would be folly. Better to face them as equals, or prepare to be their prey. The debate raged on, but every delegate knew the truth. The galaxy had changed the instant that word was spoken. Apex. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council felt something they had thought lost to history. Fear. And far away, on a blue planet circling an ordinary star, humanity knew nothing of the storm about to break over them. The human reaction. The message came to Earth on a beam of encoded light. It arrived first at the Deep Space Communication Array in Chile, where technicians stared in disbelief at the alien signal. The transmission was crystal clear, translated seamlessly by its own embedded algorithms into English, Mandarin, Arabic, Hindi, Russian, and every major human tongue. For the first time in history, humanity was addressed not by one another, but by voices from the stars. Humanity of Earth. The message began, projected across glowing monitors in a voice calm, neutral, yet impossibly alien. You have been observed. The Galactic Council has reviewed your history, your biology, and your path. You are designated apex predators. The technicians thought at first it was a mistranslation. But when the second line came, there was no mistaking it. You are considered a potential destabilizing force. Your species is dangerous. Prepare to be bound by restrictions or face eradication. The world erupted. Governments in shock. In Washington, Beijing, Moscow, Brussels, and countless other capitals, leaders gathered in emergency sessions. Within hours, the United Nations convened the largest assembly in its history. For once, every seat was filled, every delegate present, their eyes locked on the projection of that alien message replayed again and again. Apex predators, scoffed the U.S. ambassador, slamming his hand on the table. They make us sound like animals. They mean exactly that, countered a Japanese representative. They have seen our history and concluded we are killers. President Imani Carter of the African Union leaned forward, her voice calm but sharp as a blade. It is not only insult. It is a threat, restrictions, or extermination. Those are not diplomatic options. Those are ultimatums. The words hung heavy in the chamber. For centuries, humans had warred over land, ideology, and resources. Yet in this moment, facing judgment from beings older and greater than themselves, the divisions blurred. A shared truth crystallized. Humanity was seen as dangerous, and dangerous things were not tolerated for long. The world reacts. Within days, the news was everywhere. Headlines screamed across every language. Humanity classified as galactic predators. Council threatens Earth with extermination. Are we monsters among the stars? Public reaction split sharply. Some were terrified. Crowds gathered in city squares, demanding peace, begging their governments to surrender to whatever conditions the aliens demanded. Conspiracy theorists claimed it was all a hoax, a ploy by world powers to unify humanity under control. Others, however, embraced the title. Online, the hashtag Apex Predators spread like wildfire. Memes flooded the net. Astronauts with glowing eyes captioned Predator Mode activated. Soldiers training in deserts tagged their videos with Hunters of the Stars. And beneath the humor, there was pride. For the first time, the galaxy had noticed humanity, and had not called them weak. Science and strategy. At the International Science Council, scholars debated what the designation meant. They have classified us as a threat because we are unlike them, explained Dr. Miguel Alvarez, an evolutionary biologist. Most intelligent species must have evolved from cooperative prey stock. Peaceful, communal, stability-oriented. But humans? We are predators, descended from hunters. Our binocular vision, endurance running, tool use, even our social hierarchies, they all scream apex. Another scientist countered, we are more than predators. We are thinkers, builders, dreamers. We created art, philosophy, music. We cured diseases and walked on the moon. True, Alvarez replied, but none of that erases what we are at our core. When cornered, we fight. When threatened, we adapt. That is what frightens them. Meanwhile, military councils across the world ran simulations. If alien fleets arrived, what chance did Earth have? The results were grim. Humanity had no faster-than-light travel, no energy shields, no planetary defenses capable of stopping an armada. But strategists saw an angle the aliens perhaps had overlooked: human adaptability. Where prey species fought predictable wars, humans thrived in chaos. Where others balked at sacrifice, humans endured it. Make no mistake, General Rajesh Verma of India told the UN Defense Panel, if they come for us, we will lose battles, but we will never stop fighting. They should remember, predators hunt back. Faith and culture. Religious leaders offered their interpretations. Some Christians proclaimed the designation proof that humanity was chosen, destined to spread beyond Earth as shepherds, or wolves, of the stars. Certain Islamic scholars framed it as a test of restraint, to be predators, yet remain just. Hindu philosophers debated whether the council's fear was dharma, the natural order balancing predator and prey. In temples, churches, mosques, and synagogues, people prayed not for peace alone, but for strength. Artists painted murals of humans standing defiant against alien skies. Musicians composed symphonies of war and survival. For the first time in centuries, humanity shared a unifying narrative, not of nations, but of species. The leak. And then the leak came. A hacker collective known only as Ghost Frame broke into secure council transmissions. Within days, a secret file spread across Earth's networks. A private debate from the Galactic Council chamber itself. The recording was damning. Humanity must be contained, one alien voice hissed. If they resist, extermination is the only path. Yes, destroy them before they rise. The world froze. It was no longer speculation. Aliens were already planning Earth's destruction. Riots broke out in fear and anger. Some demanded humanity beg for mercy. Others swore vengeance. Governments rushed to strengthen militaries, hastily funding orbital defense systems and space weapon prototypes. For the first time, rival nations traded technology instead of secrets, pooling resources against the greater threat. A new resolve. President Carter addressed the world in a speech broadcast across every screen and radio. Her face was calm, her voice firm. They call us predators. They call us dangerous. They call us a threat. Perhaps they are right. We are survivors of ice ages, plagues, and wars. We have endured our own cruelty and still risen higher. If the galaxy fears us, let them know this: we do not seek war. But we will not bow. We will not kneel. We are humanity, and we will endure. The world held its breath. And then, for the first time in human history, billions of people cheered not for their nations, but for their species. The predators had found their name. Predators among prey. The fleet arrived without warning. At first, astronomers spotted only faint disturbances, unusual shadows passing through the asteroid belt, brief pulses of radiation near Jupiter. But within hours, their true form emerged. 27 warships, sleek and alien, each the size of a small city. They glided into Earth's orbit with the silent menace of predators circling prey. Across the world, skies lit up with falling debris as satellites were incinerated by precision strikes. Communication grids faltered. Panic swept through cities. The aliens had come, just as the leaked transmissions had promised. The Galactic Council called them a containment force. To humanity, they looked like executioners. The ultimatum. From orbit, a booming transmission echoed across Earth. Humans of Earth, you're classified as apex predators. Your aggression is a danger to galactic peace. Surrender your sovereignty. Submit to Council oversight. Refuse, and you will be eradicated. The voice was cold, absolute. The message repeated in every language. But there was no surrender. Earth unites. In underground bunkers and fortified command centers, the world's leaders and generals met via secure channels. The United Nations blue flag hung behind President Carter as she spoke. They offer us chains or death. I say we choose neither. We will show them what it means to call us predators. For the first time, nations shared their most guarded secrets. The U.S. revealed experimental railgun prototypes stationed on orbital platforms. Russia offered its hypersonic missile technology. China and India deployed swarms of autonomous drones. Europe contributed directed energy weapons. Even smaller nations sent what they had: cyber war units, stealth subs, guerrilla fighters. This was not a war of nations. It was a war of species. The first strike, the alien fleet began its descent. Energy beams lanced from orbit, burning craters into military bases and silencing radar installations. Cities trembled beneath sonic bombardments. But then, humanity struck back. Railguns hidden in Siberia and Nevada fired tungsten slugs into orbit at Mach 25, punching through an alien cruiser's shields and tearing its hull apart. Anti-satellite missiles launched in coordinated swarms, overwhelming point defense systems and detonating against enemy hulls. When the first alien warship erupted in a fiery bloom above the Pacific, cheers erupted across Earth. Humanity had drawn blood. The predator's instinct. The aliens expected compliance, not resistance. They had underestimated the madness of humans, the way Earth's predators fought when cornered. Special Forces units launched daring operations. Under cover of chaos, a multinational strike team rode a disguised shuttle into orbit, their vessel appearing on scanners as debris. They latched onto the underside of a Council battleship and cut their way inside. The aliens inside were prey-born, soft-bodied creatures accustomed to sterile command decks and automated systems. They were not prepared for humans in body armor, faces streaked with paint, moving silently through corridors with knives, rifles, and raw determination. In minutes, the ship's command center was overrun. One alien commander shrieked in panic as a human soldier leaned close and whispered, "Boo," before ending the fight. The ship fell to human control. Psychological warfare. On Earth, hackers from Ghostframe breached alien communication relays. They injected audio files into the invaders' channels. Recordings of lions roaring, wolves howling, human soldiers chanting in unison. To prey-born minds and used predators, the sounds were horrifying. In battle, drones projected holograms of fanged beasts onto clouds. In the streets, resistance fighters painted predator eyes on their helmets. Every tactic was meant not only to wound, but to terrify. The aliens had technology. Humans had instinct. Turning the tide. By the fifth day, the war was chaos. Entire cities lay in ruins. Millions were dead. Yet the Council fleet was faltering. Earth's armies had turned captured alien weapons against their owners, adapting them with shocking speed. Engineers who had never seen plasma cannons 3 days earlier now mounted them on tanks and ships. Every setback became an advantage, every weakness exploited. A coalition of human navies ambushed an alien carrier near the Atlantic, swarming it with submarines and missile fire until its engines went critical. Over Tokyo, fighter pilots lured enemy drones into thunderstorms, where lightning fried their circuits. Humans were improvising innovating, and adapting faster than the Council could predict. The message. On the seventh day, humanity broadcast a signal across the stars. President Carter's face appeared on every channel, transmitted from the bridge of the captured alien battleship. "We did not seek this war," she declared. "We asked only for recognition and respect. But you came with chains and fire. You call us predators. You are right. And predators do not run. Predators do not hide. Predators hunt back." Her words echoed across the council chambers light years away. Council panic. In the grand hall where humanity's fate had first been decided, delegates now watched in horror as battle reports streamed in. 27 ships sent to contain one planet. 11 destroyed. 6 disabled. 2 captured. Never in recorded history had prey defeated hunters. Yet here was humanity, bleeding, battered, but unbroken, and fighting with a ferocity that defied logic. "This is not possible," the Solari elder hissed, coiling in rage. "They are primitives." "No," murmured the Bracken warrior, baring sharp teeth in approval. "They are predators, and the galaxy will never be the same." Apex realized. The war was over, but Earth still smoldered. Cities lay in ruin. Skyscrapers were hollow shells, their glass blown out by orbital strikes. Entire coastlines were scarred by bombardment. The dead numbered in the millions. Yet amid the wreckage, humanity stood, bloodied but standing. Above Earth, alien wreckage glittered like a second asteroid belt. Of the 27 warships sent to cage humanity, fewer than 10 escaped. The rest were destroyed or, unthinkably, captured. And now, one of those captured vessels had been refitted, its bridge commandeered, its alien consoles rewired with human hands. From it came the broadcast that changed galactic history. The speech. President Imani Carter appeared on screens across Earth and, through hacked alien channels, across the stars. She stood not before the flag of her nation, but before a banner newly raised, a globe encircled by laurel, symbol of all humanity. "They came to chain us," she began, her voice low, steady. "They came to erase us. They named us predators. And they were right." She paused, letting the words settle, her eyes hard as steel. "Predators are feared, yes, but predators also protect their pack. We did not seek conquest. We did not seek to dominate. We sought to live, to grow, to take our first steps into the stars. And for this, they tried to burn us. They failed. And let the galaxy hear me. If you hunt us again, remember, we are hunters too." The broadcast ended. Across Earth, survivors cheered, their voices echoing through ruined streets. Across the galaxy, countless alien worlds fell silent, their people shaken by the defiance of a species that refused to kneel. Ripples in the Council. In the Galactic Council's Grand Hall, chaos reigned. Delegates shouted over one another, demanding explanations, strategies, solutions. The Solari elder shrieked for extermination fleets, her scales rattling with fury. The Voth, trembling herbivores, begged for containment, terrified that humanity's rage would one day reach their worlds. But others watched with something like awe. The Bracken warrior rose slowly, his scarred frame looming over his orb. "We made a mistake," he growled. "We thought them primitive. We thought them fragile. But they are as we once were, before we were tamed by politics and fear. They are predators, true predators. And I, for one, welcome them." Gasps filled the chamber. To welcome predators was madness. To resist them was suicide. The council was divided as it had not been in centuries. And whispers spread. If the humans could defy the council's fleets, perhaps the council was not as invincible as it claimed. Alliances and fear. Within weeks, clandestine envoys reached Earth. Not every species wanted war. Some, oppressed for centuries under council dominance, saw in humanity a chance for change. They sent coded signals offering trade, technology, even military assistance, quiet acknowledgments that they saw humanity not as prey, but as potential allies. At the same time, enemies multiplied. The council's hawkish factions called for a second strike, this time with overwhelming force. Plans for extermination fleets were whispered behind closed doors. Earth knew it was only a matter of time. The Predators' resolve. On Mars, new cities rose from dust, built with brutal speed by survivors and engineers. Captured alien reactors powered sprawling factories that churned out weapons and ships. The human military became not a coalition of nations, but a unified force, the Terran Defense Command. In training yards under the red sky, soldiers drilled relentlessly. They carried human rifles and alien plasma cannons side by side. They laughed in the face of exhaustion, racing each other until they collapsed, then stood and did it again. An alien observer, an envoy from a prey-born species hoping for alliance, watched in silent terror. The humans did not train like prey. They trained like creatures born for war. "These are not soldiers," the envoy whispered. "These are nightmares." The Galactic Reckoning. In the council chamber, the AI moderator issued a new report. Status: Humanity. Survived council intervention. Current classification remains unchanged. Apex predators. Recommendation: all civilizations exercise caution in direct engagement. Probability of successful containment: less than 30%. The words fell like hammers. For the first time in its millennia of existence, the Council admitted weakness. One planet, one species had defied them. Fear spread like a contagion. Civilizations once docile now questioned the Council's power. Some rebel factions dare to hope. If humanity could fight back, why couldn't they? The galaxy's balance had shifted, and all because of Earth. A new beginning. On Earth, rebuilding began. Children played among ruins, their laughter a defiant melody against the silence of loss. Artists painted murals on broken walls. Wolves beneath starry skies, lions roaring at alien ships, humans with predator eyes gazing into the cosmos. President Carter stood before the people, her voice carrying across the globe. "We are scarred, we are grieving, but we are not broken. They feared us as predators. Let us show them predators can be predators can be builders, predators can protect. We will not be the galaxy's monsters, but we will never be its prey." The world listened, and for the first time, humanity's identity was not divided by borders. It was united by a single truth: they were hunters among the stars. The final image. In a training dome on Mars, recruits ran drills, their boots pounding the dust in perfect rhythm. Some collapsed, laughing, only to rise again and push harder. An alien envoy, hidden among observers, shivered as he watched. Their bodies glistened with sweat, their eyes burned with fire, their voices thundered with unyielding spirit. He whispered to himself, half in awe, half in dread, "The galaxy has awakened a beast, and it will never sleep again."